Hello, welcome to some ozfortress action that's already begun. It's on your screens at the moment, but we're going to be bringing the rest of it to you. We're just running a little bit late there, but we'll get the rest of the action to you right about now. I'm Sideshow, with me is Fear and Kaiza, and we're going to be covering the qualifiers of the ozfortress Summer Cup 2016. These are the seeding stages of the tournament, so these two teams playing for seeding into the bracket. The bottom seeded teams, though, are going to not even be able to participate, so it really is all on the line here for these teams if they want to prove themselves and get a good, decent seed. For you.
Yep. Well, the two teams have got to get tonight are Kids, led by Lay and Drams, I believe, and we also have Sacred.tf, a reincarnation of quite an older team who will now come back to try and compete with the best in Australian TF2.
They came out strong in the first mid-fight that you guys will have missed, but I'll fill it in for you. Sacred currently 1-0 up. They've just managed to cap their first round there. So the first mid-fight looked like it was going well for Sacred, and then they kind of lost track of the fight. It got to a really messy 3v3 fight on the point there, and they were only just able to scrape it forwards. So they haven't really been coming out in dominant fashion yet, but they'll be hoping to do that, and they're going on to the next mid right now for you.
Yeah, I'm just watching Ugo duck back into house to collect the health back. He's been almost locked out of the mid so far. He's done very little damage as compared to the Kids demo man, but it hasn't mattered so far. They've been able to consolidate their position on the side of the point. But now that they're starting to get their combo out of house, it looks like the mid is going to go the way of Kids. Just more presence on the point, more damage able to be done by their combat classes, and like quite an easy mid take. Force them all out.
Only a single scout loss there as well, so they might want to be pushing this one forwards. They're looking like they want to poke their heels towards house and see if they can get something done. Scandalous is distracting them as well at choke, and Whipple's only on 100 health, so in comes the Uber. Oh, and he doesn't have the Uber charge! Down goes Whipple.
97%.
Disastrous for him there, but for Kids, that's absolutely perfect. Everything they could have wanted and more, and they're going to take up this position around the spire, and it's all on Sacred to either try and get a pick onto Watson, perhaps. That's what Schuper's going to be trying to do, or just consolidate their position on last.
Yeah, really dominating and just showing the effectiveness of moving in quickly when you have even small Uber or player advantages. And now we're going to see Kids moving into top lobby. They do have a 40% Uber advantage, but they do know that Sacred's demo man, Ugar, is going to be dead for a few more seconds.
Schuper's coming in behind as well. He's been flanking all the way from Haunter. Couldn't quite catch that scout, and now he's dueling another one. And down he goes, unfortunately not able to get anything done, and that's given them the pick that they need as well as the Uber advantage. Yeah,
it should be an Uber coming in the next probably 10 seconons. And it's going to be interesting to see where they take it, whether they go top left or under. Looks like it's going to be a scout demo Uber from top left, popped onto Lay. Demo goes in on the initial heavy. They're trying to stick you off the point. The demo man's still trapped in spawn, but it looks like there's actually a bit of hope in this fight. And it's going to go down, right down to the wire here. Oh, awesome clutch coming out from Ugar, managing to pick up 3 huge frags. We have Lay on 83 health behind the point, but it looks like he's not going to be able to do anything. Sacred get the heals and managed to cling on to what was looking to be a very precarious round.
Yeah, they instantly came in and just slammed Otson. Slammed the soldiers there on the top right, but they couldn't get any position on the point. They took the high ground, but as soon as they all bled onto the point, Whipple and Riots were there just to mop them all up, and now in they come with an Uber charge as well. 3 of these players have given themselves in order for it to be popped there from Whipple, and they're all going to die. That's both Scouts and the Roman Soldier there from Kids, and that's a little bit too much in my opinion just for an Uber pop. That's a fantastic Uber coming out from Sacred, and they're going to be wanting to take mid and potentially even second off the back of this.
Yeah, they know that they're at an Uber disadvantage, but which means that they're going to be trying to look to use this temporary player advantage to get as much ground as they can, and possibly even have a look at trying to do an aggressive push around choke before the other team is ready to Uber. But it does look like they're now going to be consolidating their position on mid, and it's going to be Kids push back into mid. Son has 90% Uber, and I'm just going to change camera to Scandalous, who's tracking with the combo through house. The Uber's popped out of house, and they're going to move forward across the point.
They haven't managed to catch anybody. Uga was definitely, I would have singled him out as a pick there. He's going to be able to surf that one away, but Scandalous is hot on his heels, manages to take him down. Uga was just a little bit too willing to stay in the fight there. When you're in Valley, he could have very easily gotten out with a single sticky jump and made sure that he stayed alive for that fight. and minimized the advantages that kids could get with their Uber charge, but nevertheless they did manage to pick up 2 scouts, so this spider should not go down easily. Scouts are one of the most important classes in that kind of push, so Sacred been given a little bit of a saving glory there.
Yeah, losing their demo man at that sort of crucial point in the fight meant that they weren't really able to use this Uber charge, which has just been popped in after a great force. Lei manages to pick up 2 kills, and SPJ gets the force, putting kids in a great position. And we're going to see the fight move on to the midpoint. Kai goes down, Riot goes down, and it's now just Rondo and Whipple left up for Sacred, and they're going to back off onto Greybridge, tracking back out, and it looks like they're not even going to be able to contest Spire. It's probably going to be a last hold coming out here from Sacred.
Uga died once again to a sticky trap along with Shupa. They both died at the exact same time to the same sticky trap from Ole, and that was straight off the respawn for the Sacred Demo Man, and he just hasn't been able to have an impact in about the last 30-40 seconds, so he'll be scratching at his head and wondering what went wrong, but it's now his job to be defending this last point, which is really the most important job of a Demo Man when it comes down to it in terms of the round. And they've got the Pyro of Kai as well on the top right to make sure that this Uber coming in from kids is negated as much as possible, but it looks like they're going to let Whipple get the Uber up actually.
That was a 50% Uber ad, which kids have just thrown away there. 36 seconds is coming up in the STV, and only now they're going to pop in, and the Uber's just going to be able to come straight back into them. Kai does go down, but they manage to trade him out for SPJ, and it's going to be pushing forward right onto the Demo Man in lobby. Lei goes down. Scout trying to return onto the medic, but he surely will go down here. That's a disastrous push for kids, and basically all down to the fact that they waited so long when they actually had Uber advantage, and then decided to do an Uber advantage push when they no longer had Uber advantage.
Yeah, I could see the indecisiveness and chaos in their comms actually. You could see it just by the body language of the players as they were trying to come forwards with the Uber charge. Odson was almost dragging his players forwards with the Medigun beam when he was trying to Uber in from that top left hand side. He popped it when his players weren't in position. You could tell that he's either calling for people to go forwards and they're not responding, or there's no captain in the team decisively calling when and where this should be used.
Yeah, and now it's just going to break. It's an even Uber here, but Uga has gone down again, and we're going to see the push coming out. SPJ jumps around corner, rocks onto the combo, is going to get traded out. And now it's even players, although Uga's just spawned. SPJ and Lei trade out for Shupa. And so far we haven't had a single Uber pop, and now Whipple's going to use, and the Ubers are being exchanged at corner. However,
that's
got 3 players up.
27 gets dropped from that Uber charge, and Odson's still going to try and rotate through house, but that's just going to stuff them in completely. Don't know what they were trying to do with that house rotation. They were players down. They should have been trying to get out, but instead it now falls to Speech to see if he can get onto Whipple. Unfortunately, that last rocket not quite going to hit the direct, and Whipple survives with a fairly tasty heal and Uber advantage after they almost wiped the entirety of kids off the back of that dreadful Uber.
Yeah. Well, it just seems like both teams are. It seems like kids are getting like easy advantages. They're getting demo pick. I think it's the last 3 pushes they've got an easy demo pick, but they're sort of not using their Uber in like advantageous enough positions, and it means that they're not being able to win the post Uber fights. Once the Ubers are coming off, it's consistently been Sacred who've been in the stronger position. And now they've got a 40% Uber advantage. They are going to lose Shupa, and they're actually being pressured off bats here. Whipple dropping down to 71 health falling into trash. And
that's a great aggressive defense there by kids. Really well executed. They've managed to knock them all the way down, and that's bought them so much time for this Uber, because Whipple now just looks like they aren't even bothering to push with it.
Yeah, well, what can they do? They effectively, unless they're going to try like a chariot Uber through the doors, which looks like it's exactly what they're going to do. And both scouts on Sacred are going to be rushing towards the last point, but it looks like they're going to be able to get back in time. Both red scouts go down, and now it's 90% Uber for Son, so that push has failed completely. Uber advantage reversed. Uga's the only one left up. He's on 31 health. He is going to get out, drop down, and he should be able to survive, but that's disastrous for Sacred.
He's actually been chased down by Ohai, and he's probably going to get this frag. Yeah, the scout going in there, making sure that he chips down Sacred's Demo Man, and then does fall himself in that valley area. But that's given them essentially free pass to enter this middle area, and without any stickies or without a large amount of spam on this choke, Odson's going to be able to walk through without even really having to use Riots in though. And there goes the Uber charge, but they found Kai off the back of that. They should be able to find Riots as well. He goes down. And the other players on Sacred are going to be all the way out on Stone Bridge, so they'll be easily able to pick up this mid. And now it falls to Sacred to see if they can push back in with this Uber advantage. I'd actually like to see one of the members of Kids go aggressive onto Whipple. And it looks like they're actually going to do that. They're not giving them any time whatsoever.
Yeah, they're trying the off-Uber push, which can be so effective. When the other team thinks that they've got a free build with their Uber advantage, they're just going to muscle them right off the point. And they've given up all their position because they thought they had Uber advantage, and now they're going to have to try and Uber back onto the point to try and get back the territory that they already had. We do have a 40% Uber advantage in favour of Sacred, but it's just such a difficult pushing out of last onto Spire in this manner. Like when you don't have any pick advantage, when you don't really have much position on battlements, it's kind of just waiting for Ubers to equalise again.
They're currently all incredibly blobbed up here though, Kids. They're leaving a gigantic hole in their flank around this resup area. And anybody who chooses to exploit it by going drop down and then trying to flank from either house or choke is going to find their path just completely open. They should really have at least a scout or a soldier spotting it, but
Uber used Sacred. Sacred.
Yeah, they're going to be trading Ubers on this right flank. Yeah, Riot's just butting heads with this Uber after his medic has completely ditched him, but they've sent a scout behind as well. Oh, sorry, that's Soldier with the pain train. Shupa there distracting, doing a decent job, but now they've lost two. Both soldiers. This one doesn't look good.
Yeah, we see SPJ go down, but it's only 3 up now. Rondo, Uga and Whipple standing there to defend the last point. Demo Man and Medic versus the rest of Kids. Cap time going to go, and we're going to see 1-all. Kids versus Sacred.
That's a very good showing from Kids, in my opinion, because they had many opportunities to actually lose their own last. They had to defend it about 3 times before they've managed to push all the way out, so shows that they are able to tussle with Sacred, and they're going to be wanting to go ahead in this game on Badlands. It is going to be a best of 1 on Badlands. This is the first round of the qualifier stage to decide how these teams are seeded. It's a round robin with the rest of the teams as well. Oh, Shupa bombing in there, gets a ton of damage onto Ohai, who creates 27 down as well. And Scandalous is so weak. Sacred have just poured out the damage on this mid. They are streaming forwards now. They should be chasing this medic. Straight away, Uga's
look how close Lay is.
Itching.
Lay's too close here, and they're probably going to get forced. He dies under bridge. SVJ goes down. Son is going to get out into top lobby. He's on 86%, so they will have Uber to defend last. But I just think they tried to get way too ambitious there. Lay trying to like have a late hold of corner. We went against 6 players coming from 2 directions. It was almost a free death. He's going to get up in time to defend last, so it's not the end of the world. But they've lost all the ground on the way to last. Scout on the point! Ooh. And he's going to get it.
That was dreadful. Honestly dreadful from the Kids defense after I was just praising them for being able to hold on there and turn the previous round around. But that was awful defense. Lay should have had stickies on the last point. They didn't even use their Uber charge. Sun still had it at the end of the round. That's a sign of a terrible defense.
Yeah, I'm watching this. It looks like both red soldiers are going to be moving on to the main side. One soldier fails to jump, and it means that his partner's going to get crushed off the point. We're going to see a scout flanking round onto Whipple and Uga. And now we have the re-entrants coming out from Kids, and they're in such a bad position to deal with this. They're going to get forced out through choke, Whipple down to 59 HP, and they're just going to keep pushing. This is where Kids are at their strongest, I feel, when they're just using this all-out aggressive style. They're taking like every positional advantage they can get.
Oh my god, Whipple! Whipple's just going straight onto him, gets the double Ubersaw, and down goes the roaming soldier. That's unbelievable. Speech should have had that just on a silver platter there. It was delivered to him, the flank. And now, somehow, Sacred have got themselves in the position where they're easily going to be able to defend this and now have an Ubercharge advantage to maybe catch out Otson.
Wow. Just shows like the advantage of individual play. The SPJ just managed to miss Whipple, and now we're going to have Ubers traded at mid. Blue do have a better Uber, and they're going to be pushing back out through choke. Demoman trying to throw so much damage in here, and they're getting caught up by the scout. And it means that they're on such low health. Only Lay, 27, and Scandalous left up. Lay goes down. Scandalous in onto the medic. Oh, beautifully timed aggression. They team up and manage to take down the medic demo. Scandalous should go down here to the 2 scouts, but that actually managed to be recoverable from kids at the end with a nice coordinated bomb.
It definitely did, but if High decides to throw his life away now, then his team could be in a real pickle. He needs to connect with his medic, be building that one up, because a big advantage that they had was the healer Nuba one. He just decided to forsake that a little bit to do some chip damage on mid. Shupa's pressed up fairly close in house, and he's going to be running the direct hits as well, so if he gets close to one of these scouts, it's an instant kill from mid to close range. But he's done a decent amount of damage actually to the soldier, but he does go down. A combination of those two flank players, and he doesn't hit enough of his close range direct hits.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of these players are sort of underestimating the value of a pick, and they're giving their lives away too easily. Flank now coming in from Rams, gets two players. He's going to be looking at a third, manages to clean up the third with the help of a High, and there was the advantage we were talking about. We lose the flank player. Shupa goes down because he was overextended in house, and now you know, kids know the flank is open, and 27 is able to pick up three free kills because they're all looking the wrong way. We're going to see a fight going down onto Spy here. Sacred are trying to hold this from Trash, but it looks like they're going to be pressured more and more into giving up this point. We do have even Ubers, so if they want, they can take the fight to contest it. And it looks like that's what they're choosing to do. Uber forced by Ohai. He's going to trade his life for it, and now we're going to see the jump coming out onto Spire. Still no Uber usage from the blue team.
Yeah, Lei's really far forward, so he might not get caught by this. He is going to be connected with his medic though, and they should be able to come forwards. The key now is not to drop anybody from this Uber if you don't want to use it, but they have been forced to use that one. Kai's going to fall as well. Surely Scandalous should be able to pick up that frag as well, and they should be able to stream to last if they had somebody on the point. But unfortunately, they didn't have the camp time, so they're not going to be able to set up the forwards position yet. However, they do have a sizable pick advantage that they could try and make something happen with. If they can get a Demoman pick, or even just use the supercharge advantage, to be honest, it's around 30%, and if they carry on building, they'll have something sizable to work with and should be able to make this one 2-2.
Yeah, we're seeing no off classes coming out from Sacred, choosing to rely on the standard defense. Demoman top left, all really standard stuff, and it looks like kids should know they have about a 30% charge. They know they need to, like, they can't mess around with it for too long, or they're going to risk Whipple managing to get Uber by the time the push is concluded. But it looks like they've learned from their previous mistakes. Son about to get it, and if history's any guide, they'll take Demo Scout top left.
Yeah, he's got 10 seconds of opportunity now, but he can't hang around. They have to go with it now, and in comes High. He's just going to be streaming forwards here.